The Jamie Foxx show. You and Jamie Foxx, y'all had a fallout after you left the show, right?
The Jamie Foxx show, when I tell you, was one of the greatest times of my life. It didn't even feel like I was going to work every day. Felt like I was pulling up to a comedy club or a comedy show and got paid to do what I love to do. And because of my relationships, it's like when I got casted to be on the show, it was like coming home. Because I knew everybody already. I knew Jamie's manager. I knew the executive producer of the show. Shout out Bentley Evans. You know what I mean? And everybody, Marcus King, and just everybody that was around, because I knew Jamie from the days of when he was on In Living Color. I was one of those, put it this way, I was with Jamie the night he got out of valet, out of his, I want to say it was a 1988 240ZX, got out in valet to walk in to audition for In Living Color. I was there the night when he did 5 minutes and got a standing ovation, and the next day he was a member of In Living Color. So I was kind of there from the beginning of the journey with him. I like to tell people I was there from his $1,500 a month apartment to his $27 million mansion. And I'm so proud of him because he's one of those dudes that never forgot where he came from. We always stayed close. We stayed tight. It was like working with your friend every episode. And you got to understand, it's the similarities between the Jamie Foxx show and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I wasn't on the Jamie Foxx show at the beginning. It was the last 2 or 3 seasons, 4 seasons, something like that. And it was incredible. A lot of people say, hey man, they didn't even really start watching as much until all of us came in Jingles 2000. You know what I mean? Me, Miles, Curtis, all the guys, you know what I mean? So it was his homies. And we literally just had fun every episode. And the falling out with me and Jamie, it was one of the weirdest situations of my career. It was like my first real dilemma of, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is a blessing, but another blessing just happened to come on the phone. You know what I mean? So long story short, it was the end of the Jamie Foxx show. Like, we got wind that this is about to be the last episode or few episodes. So in a nutshell, I was a regular on the Jamie Foxx show, right? And I forgot, I stopped counting how many episodes I was on, but there were some huge episodes that I was on. And I want to say I got the call from Dr. Dre maybe with 2 episodes left. But we knew that it was about to be the end of the Jamie Foxx show. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing, it's a good problem that he had in his life. Because the problem he had was the same problem that Will had. Okay, you have become so big now that it's now time for you to be a movie star. So exact same thing what happened with Will Smith, and I was there. I got to see it. I was sitting in the dressing room when they walked in the script for Independence Day for Will. You get what I'm saying? Like, this dude's about to go from here, right, to out of here. You know what I mean? And that's why cut to Independence Day ended up being one of the biggest movies of all time at that time. That dude was literally ready to become a super box office star. It was time for him to move up. You know, it's almost like in comedy where you go from clubs to auditoriums to theaters to arenas to stadiums. It was like that for them. So in Jamie's case, it was basically the end of the show. Who knew one day while I'm on set, Dr. Dre calls me out of nowhere. Hey, I'm about to do this tour. I want you on this tour. I'm like, you want me on the tour? He was like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, well, Dre, you know, I'm on the Jamie Foxx show. He's like, yeah, I know. I'll be watching that. You funny as hell. Yeah. He goes, I want to do something that never been done before. And I was like, what is that? He's like, I want a comedian to host a huge hip hop tour. It's going to be the biggest tour of all time. And I was like, oh, really? Who's going to be on it? He's like, man, Ice Cube, you know, NWA, you know, there'll be Snoop Dogg, the East Siders, you know, Warren G, Dub C, and the new kid, his name is Eminem. And I'm like, Eminem was fresh, brand new, but blowing the hell up. I'm like, oh, this sounds like this going to be huge. He's like, man, 30,000 seats. every single city in America. I want you to host that. I was like, okay, so when are you starting? He like, Thursday. I was like, Thursday? Thursday? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm on a TV show, Dre. He's like, he just cut straight to it. He's like, how much that paying you? What you getting paid a week? And at that time, the Jamie Foxx show was big for me. I was getting $5,000 an episode, right? For a young up and coming dude, this is, 30, 20 something years, 25 years ago. I'm like, I gotta get it. He was like, I'll double that. I was like, so what time am I going on stage Thursday? How long is the drive? Where is the first city? And the first city was Chula Vista. I'll never forget. Chula Vista, San Diego. And now I have a dilemma. And my dilemma is, the bottom line is, no concert on the planet is bigger than any TV show. All right? I don't care how big your concert is. TV show hits whatever. Hundreds of millions of people all over the world. You get what I'm saying? But I had to weigh it out, man. 2 more weeks of $5,000, or damn near make $500,000, $300,000-$400,000, the most I've ever made in my life on a 40-city tour around America. You do the math. What you think I did? Up in smoke. I had to get on tour, man, and to be honest with you, ended up being the most money I've ever made in my life. I bought my first house after I got off that tour. That's how I got the movie The Wash, because when we were on tour, I want to say like maybe our 30th city. I believe we were in Detroit at Eminem's hometown, and DJ Pooh just pulled up in valet one day. Pooh, what's up, da-da? And I just happened to be on Dre's bus, because I hung out with Dre a lot on his bus, because it was the only bus on tour where there was no weed, and I didn't smoke weed. I would mess around when I'm with Snoop every once in a while, puff on it, and then go cough for 30 minutes, cough my lungs out and stuff, and act like I was down, but I wasn't a weed smoker. And literally the only bus on the Upper Smoke tour that didn't have weed was Dre's bus. He was constantly making music, and he was always giving me game about the business. One day, Pooh walks on with this script. Long story short, hey man, we trying to shoot this movie when we get off tour. It's a remake of the famous movie with Richard Pryor. It's called Car Wash. We calling that The Wash. I want you in that. I went out there, killed it on stage in front of 30,000 people. He's like, you ain't even got an audition. You got to roll. So not only was it the most money I'd ever made doing stand-up on a rock star level, but now I got a movie out of it, and I bought a brand new house. Jamie was upset, because I became really a part of the Jamie Foxx show. But he ended up understanding it was like a business move I had to make. I don't know what city it was, but Jamie ended up coming to one of the shows on tour to see what his little brother was doing. I believe it was like maybe the 25th city, because that's when we shot the DVD in Boston, where the Celtics played. Sold out. 30,000 people. I ripped the roof off that joint, and he was proud of me. He's like, hey man, you stood up, you had to do what you had to do. You know what I mean? And basically that was squashed. It never came to like F you, and I don't like you, you ain't. No, it was a business move I had to make. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've never told anybody this. I believe that if I was a part of the Jamie Foxx show from the beginning, and we were had guaranteed 4 more seasons on the WB, I would have said no. I would have had to respectfully say no to Dr. Dre, right? Because TV's bigger than me going anywhere live. You get what I'm saying? But things happen for a reason. Ended up being the biggest tour in hip hop history. And at that time, it was the biggest DVD in hip hop history. I did something that had never been done. No comedian was going on stage in front of 30,000 people every night. You understand? The most I had went up in front of was when I would open up for Damon Wayans or Mark Curry or Jamie Foxx back in the day, 5,000. 5,000 was a great sellout for any comedian. in the early, like in the 90s. But for me to go from 5,000 people to 30,000 people, do you understand how huge that was? And then you got to understand, I tell people like this, I'm the only one on the show every single night in every city in America that the people did not come to see. My name wasn't on the bill. You saw Eminem. You saw Dr. Dre. You saw Snoop. You saw Ice Cube. You saw Warren G. You saw the East Siders. You saw Mac 10. They didn't put me on the billing, but it was a great surprise to the audience because even Dre and Snoop came up to me one night and they were like, cuz, you killing it, cuz. Like, they know you, cuz. I was like, I got a little stardom myself. I have been in 5 or 10 movies. I have been all over America myself as a stand-up comedian, just not at this level. You know what I'm saying? I had my following too, but I had to go out there and show them and show the world what I was made of. Not too many comedians can go up in that, when I say a hostile environment, imagine going up in front of 30,000 people. Everybody's drunk, everybody's high, and they came to see Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and if they ain't here to hear no damn jokes. But I thank Dre every time I see him because it gave me a new type of stardom as far as stand-up goes. It gave me a new type of confidence from going and killing in front of 30,000 people every night. There wasn't a comedy club on the planet I didn't go into it going, I'm gonna rip the roof off this thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was great.
So besides the money, you knew the show was coming to an end, and that's one of the main reasons why you made that decision.
That's the only reason. I wanted you to understand that so you see, it's easy to do the math. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to do the math. Like I would have been out of a job. Like, that's the life we live as entertainers. You're only as good as your next show. That would have been, I'm in this business. So I understand all shows come to an end eventually. You know what I mean? I worked on the Wayans Brothers show for 4 years. I worked on Living Single for 4 years. I worked on One on One for 4 years. I worked on all these black shows, All of Us and every black show there was, Moesha, the Parkers. I worked on all those shows for years and they all ended up coming to an end. So you just got to, what's next? That's Hollywood.